Recently, Coca-Cola released an entirely AI generated commercial. This commercial, while for an AI generated video, it was actually fairly high effort, and you could struggle to find many errors in the art. It still just looked weird. Like it didn't look right. It looks like it's just cutting back and forth between Coca-Cola trucks driving and different animals like they smiling. And then at one point it shows a sloth. Like all the rest of them are Christmas animals. And then there's a sloth. Why is there a sloth? I don't get like who signed off on this? Like I get that they're experimenting with AI, whatever. But like who looks at this and thinks like, "Man, this is a really great commercial." Like I could see my local Jimmy John's putting out an ad like this to try and bring in some more people because they don't have a whole global team dedicated to making this as good as possible. But when I guarantee they're spending millions of dollars to air this around the world and it doesn't even feel like they spent $20 to make it, it feels so self-defeating and low effort that I simply don't I can't fathom what what allowed this to happen. AI art has also begun infiltrating the global marketplace even beyond large corporations. People calling themselves AI artists or prompt writers will charge a commission rate to write a prompt to a AI chatbot to produce a picture. And then they will then sell these pictures as if, it was their own creation. While they tend to be pretty forthcoming that this is not technically their work, they still treat it as if it is because they have written the prompt. Whether it is theirs is up to debate. I personally feel that it isn't, but this is a very new sphere, and it is very open to interpretation. However, the biggest where there's the biggest undeniable moral dilemma is in the creation of these bots. They are often trained using unconsensual data scraping, which is essentially that other works of art online are essentially stolen and used to train this bot, which then spits out what is essentially a replica of this work. Meaning that the art is arguably stolen art. It is the other people have worked to create this and are making no pay off of it, yet these AI artists are charging for it when they didn't even really have much to do with the creation beyond 2 or 3 sentences. And ultimately, it is most frequently used by people who are, don't really know quite what they're buying, or they think that they're buying an original piece of art, or they could not afford to otherwise get art. But ultimately, it just comes out to be very, very morally iffy at best and straight up wrong at worst. Ultimately, do I think that AI art is morally wrong and should be burned at the stake and that no one should use it? Not really. Honestly, I think that for personal projects, for someone who has no experience with art and is like trying to set up a birthday party and needs some pictures, or maybe is trying to set up like a local corn maze and just needs some decorations to put up around, I think that's a great use of it, and as long as it's not being charged for. But when you are profiting off of this, off of something that is objectively stealing profits from someone else, I think that is where it's wrong. It's IP infringement, and it just goes from being a fun, creative new way to get a little drawing to being like, wow, this is pretty messed up.